Last minute prep. 1 hour Praxis 5435 crash course preparation quiz. Question 1. A student is studying the human respiratory system and learns about gas exchange in the alveoli, the tiny air sacs in the lungs. The student asks a question about the driving force behind this exchange. Why does oxygen move from the air in the alveoli into the blood, and why does carbon dioxide move from the blood into the alveoli? Which of the following principles provides the correct explanation? Is it? Option A. Active transport, because the cells lining the alveoli use energy in the form of ATP to actively pump oxygen into the blood and carbon dioxide out of the blood. B. Simple diffusion down concentration gradients, because the concentration of oxygen is higher in the alveolar air than in the deoxygenated blood arriving from the body, and the concentration of carbon dioxide is higher in that blood than in the alveolar air. C. Osmosis, because the movement of water across the respiratory membrane carries dissolved gases along with it from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure. Or D. Facilitated diffusion, because both oxygen and carbon dioxide require specific carrier proteins embedded in the cell membrane to transport them across the respiratory surface. The correct answer is B. This question tests the understanding of the physical principle behind gas exchange in the lungs. Gas is moved by the process of simple diffusion. Diffusion is the net movement of particles from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration. Deoxygenated blood returning to the lungs has a low concentration of oxygen and a high concentration of carbon dioxide. The air in the alveoli, freshly inhaled, has a high concentration of oxygen and a low concentration of carbon dioxide. This creates a concentration gradient for both gases. Oxygen diffuses down its gradient from the alveoli into the blood. Carbon dioxide diffuses down its gradient from the blood into the alveoli to be exhaled. Option A is incorrect. This process does not require cellular energy. Option B correctly identifies diffusion. Option C is incorrect. Osmosis is specifically the diffusion of water. Option D is incorrect. These small, nonpolar gases diffuse directly through the lipid bilayer without the need for carrier proteins. Remember, we can take your Praxis 5435 exam for you remotely and undetected with 150 score guaranteed. Message us via the number in the bio. Question 2. A student is studying the periodic trends of elements and notices that atomic radius generally decreases when moving from left to right across a period on the periodic table. The student asks for the reason behind this trend. Which of the following explanations best accounts for the decrease in atomic radius across a period? Is it? Option A. As you move across a period, electrons are added to higher and higher principal energy levels, which are further from the nucleus, causing the atom to get larger. B. As you move across a period, electrons are added to the same principal energy level, but protons are also added to the nucleus. The increasing positive nuclear charge pulls the entire electron cloud closer to the nucleus, resulting in a smaller atomic radius. As you move across a period, the number of electron shells increases, which would increase the size, but this effect is more than offset by the increasing nuclear charge. Or D. As you move across a period, atoms gain more neutrons, which increases the mass but has no effect on the atomic radius. The correct answer is B. This question tests the understanding of fundamental periodic trends. The trend of decreasing atomic radius across a period is due to the increasing nuclear charge. As you move from left to right across a period, each element has one more proton in its nucleus than the element before it. At the same time, each new electron is added to the same outermost electron shell. The increasing positive charge of the nucleus exerts a stronger electrostatic pull on the electron cloud, drawing it inward and making the atom smaller. Option A describes what happens when moving down a group, not across a period. Option B correctly explains the trend. Option C is incorrect because the number of electron shells does not increase across a period. Option D introduces neutrons, which do affect mass but have little effect on atomic radius. Understanding this trend helps predict properties like ionization energy and electronegativity. Question 3. A student is examining a prepared slide of human blood under a microscope and observes red blood cells that appear swollen and some that have burst. The student knows that healthy red blood cells normally maintain a distinctive biconcave shape. Which of the following best explains what might have caused the cells to appear this way? Is it? Option A. The blood sample was mixed with a hypertonic solution, causing water to move out of the cells by osmosis, making them shrink and crenate. B. The blood sample was mixed with a hypotonic solution, causing water to move into the cells by osmosis, making them swell and eventually burst through hemolysis. C. The blood sample was mixed with an isotonic solution, which maintains normal cell shape, so the observed appearance must be a staining artifact. Or D. The blood sample was exposed to a high temperature, which denatured the proteins in the cell membrane and caused the cells to rupture. The correct answer is B. This question tests the understanding of osmosis and tonicity in a biological context. Osmosis is the net movement of water across a selectively permeable membrane from an area of lower solute concentration to an area of higher solute concentration. Red blood cells in an isotonic solution maintain their normal shape. In a hypertonic solution, higher solute concentration outside than inside, water moves out of the cells, causing them to shrink, a process called crenation. In a hypotonic solution, lower solute concentration outside, water moves into the cells, causing them to swell. If the influx is great enough, the cell membrane cannot withstand the pressure and the cell bursts, a process called hemolysis. The observation of swollen and burst cells is a classic sign of a hypotonic environment. Option A describes the effect of a hypertonic solution. Option B correctly describes the effect of a hypotonic solution. Option C is incorrect. Option D introduces a different mechanism, temperature, that would not cause the specific pattern of osmotic swelling. Question 4. A student is studying the properties of acids and bases. The student has an unknown solution and wants to determine if it is acidic or basic. They dip a piece of blue litmus paper into the solution and observe that the blue litmus paper turns red. Based on this single observation, what conclusion can the student draw? Is it? Option A. The solution is definitely an acid because blue litmus paper turning red is a standard test that indicates an acidic pH. B. The solution is definitely a base because bases are known to turn blue litmus paper red. C. The test is inconclusive, as litmus paper is known to be unreliable and can change color for many reasons, including temperature and salinity. Or D. The solution is neutral because neutral substances are the only ones that cause a color change in litmus paper. The correct answer is A. This question tests the basic knowledge of acid-base indicators. Litmus paper is a common pH indicator. Blue litmus paper is specifically designed to turn red in acidic conditions. Red litmus paper conversely turns blue in basic conditions. The observation that blue litmus turns red is a clear and reliable indication that the solution is acidic. Option A correctly states this conclusion. Option B is incorrect. Bases would turn red litmus blue. Option C is incorrect. Litmus is a standard and reliable indicator for this purpose. Option D is incorrect. Neutral substances do not cause a color change in litmus paper. Understanding how to use indicators is a fundamental laboratory skill. Question 5. A student is studying basic Mendelian genetics. They know that in pea plants, the allele for purple flowers is dominant over the allele for white flowers. The student crosses a pea plant that is homozygous dominant pp for purple flowers with a pea plant that is homozygous recessive pp for white flowers. All of the offspring in the F1 generation have purple flowers. The student then crosses two of these F1 plants with each other. What is the expected phenotypic ratio in the F2 generation resulting from this cross? Is it? Option A. All of the offspring will have purple flowers. B. Approximately 3 purple flowered plants for every 1 white flowered plant. C. Approximately 1 purple flowered plant for every 1 white flowered plant. Or D. Approximately 9 purple flowered plants for every 7 white flowered plants. The correct answer is B. This question tests the understanding of a classic monohybrid cross. The initial cross between a homozygous dominant pp and a homozygous recessive pp parent produces offspring that are all heterozygous pp. Since purple is dominant, all these F1 plants have purple flowers. When two F1 heterozygotes are cross pp times pp, the resulting genotypic ratio among the offspring is 1 homozygous dominant pp to 2 heterozygous pp to 1 homozygous recessive pages. Phenotypically, both the pp and pp plants will have purple flowers, while the pp plants will have white flowers. This gives a phenotypic ratio of 3 purple to 1 white. Option A would be the result if all offspring were dominant. Option B correctly gives the 3 to 1 ratio. Option C is the ratio expected from a test cross. Option D is a modified ratio seen in some epistatic gene interactions, not in a simple monohybrid cross. The 3 to 1 ratio is fundamental to understanding inheritance patterns. How many did you score out of 5? Let us know in the comments below. Also, tell us which exam we should cover next. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more.